this video, we're going to learn about how to find timing using the cards. You can use Oracle cards, Lenormand, or you could use Tarot cards, whatever cards you have at home. This video is a freebie for you, and it's so that maybe you could get interested in other mini courses coming soon to a device near you. And if you're new to my channel, I'm Trina, your intuitive guide from Canada, helping you navigate life's energies. We also have the Power of 8 Chakra Oracle cards for sale, as well as it's available as an app. So check that out if you have a chance. Okay, so timing with cards, super easy. Let me show you an example. Okay, so I had a client ask, when will I move? So let's go see. Okay, so for this question, when will I move? We're going to use the Light Seers Tarot. We're going to use our Power of 8 Chakra Energy Oracle, as well as the Lenormand. Okay, so let's take a look. When will I move? So let's pull them all and look for some kind of repeating things. Okay, so right away I see lots of sun. There's the sun, there's the sun. So I could say that it looks to me like you're going to be moving in a month that is sunny. That could be one thing. And maybe it's going to be a nighttime move because of the moon, and see how he's sort of going and sneaking away, sort of feeling there. Now, the next step after you look at the pictures is you think about the numbers. So we have a 7, 4 plus 2 equals 6, 1 plus 6 equals 7. And then the sun, 3 plus 1 equals 4. So I see a few 6s and 7s here. So I could possibly say, 7 and 6, that's June and July. Okay, so maybe June and July is when you're going to make the move. And that's very sunny months, right? So there's one way you could think of it. And you could say that maybe the 31 is an actual date within June or July. Maybe it's June 31st or July 31st. That is when you actually make that move. So that's a really easy way to see timing. Now, if you wanted to get deeper, we could say when you become empowered enough, you will make that move, and it might be a little bit of escaping. So perhaps the reason she asked me when is she moving is that she's in a little bit of an abusive relationship. Maybe that would be something to talk about with your client, for example. But you could say, it looks to me like she needs to accept this contrast and be empowered to move to get away from the bad juju here that's happening. When I look closer, 7, that's in astrology, the number of relationships, close relationships. And 6 is reestablishing the balance in some way. So maybe the reason she's moving, if we want to get deeper, is because she needs to escape from something that's not good for her. And accepting the contrast that, hey, I tried my best, things aren't working. It takes 2 to tango here, and the other person isn't tangoing with me. So I need to move away. That could be a thing. It would be something definitely to discuss with your client. Now, at this point, you could go even further and pull some new cards, meaning, what do I have to do first in order to move? What has to happen before I move? Okay, so what has to happen before I move? And here we're using an Oracle card from our deck, the Power of 8. We're using the Light Seers Tarot, and we're using some Lenormand to get sort of like a bunch of views on this special question. What do I have to do before I move? Okay. Oh, another 6. 1 plus 5 equals 6. I am aware. So clearing the cobwebs from our brain, being aware of all sides of this situation, and opening our mind up to solutions per se. That could be a thing. But let's see what else we have to do before we move. We get the 6 of Pentacles, or the 6 of Coins. We get the 9 of Wands. And we get the 5 of Swords. Aha, we got 3 elements here. So Pentacles is about money and resources. Wands is about your environment and doing things. And Swords is about how you think, okay, and communication stuff as well. So here's the thinking of the mind, here's changing our environment, and here's something to do with our resources and property and money. So when we see, I am aware, so we got to be aware of all these things in order to move, okay? So the first thing is 6 of Pentacles. That is a lot about giving and receiving. That's charity, that's money. It could be about making more money. It could be about receiving help from the government or receiving help from family members regarding money. Looks to me like there's something to do, in order for her to move, there has to be something done with her money. It could be about getting a job and saving up for this move. It could be about receiving help in some way for this move. Okay, it's a very receiving, giving sort of card here. And, the 6 is about reestablishing the balance somewhere in your finances. Pentacles, or you could say coins, same thing. 9 of Wands, well, that means that there's this barrier around you, right? And maybe that's necessary. Maybe there has to be, because remember when we did in the first part, about moving, it looked to me like she might be in a bad relationship and she's going to have to put some guards up. Maybe this is defending her money. Maybe this is restraining order. I mean, it could be somewhere where you're changing your environment with the wands, and there has to be something done here. Maybe it's about creating boundaries, just saying no, whatever, but finding her power back. Because remember in the first reading, it was about, there was I am empowered and I accept the contrast, all that, right? So here, before she moves, she has to become aware of these things. The money, her boundaries, and that. And as well as the mental things that are going on in her head. 5 of Swords is like, all these things going on in my head, and maybe it's a negative thinking. And instead of thinking negatively, it could be a fact of, before you can move properly, get your finances in order, get your boundaries set, and create a better mindset, a more hopeful mindset. And maybe this can be about getting counseling too, right? Or some help from a trusted source to work with the issues in the mind. It could be a case of she's encountered a lot of trauma and she needs to be aware of that trauma. And so going to see someone to help, a therapist or a helper of some way to help get a better mindset and to forgive and move on, or something like that, right? So she has to do all these things before the move will be successful. Money, boundaries, and mindset. And finally, we see here in the Lenormand, what do I have to do, for this move? There's a child involved, or it can mean a new beginning. So something to do with that. I have a feeling it is about child. And so here's a little bit of luck with the child, okay? And the mice is about nervousness. So it's dealing with the nervousness of the child. And maybe her nervousness as a parent is coming onto the child, and that needs to be fixed before this move is successful, and being aware, right, of all that stuff. So here we see another thing that this can be interpreted as this new beginning brings you luck, but it feels a little bit of nervousness. That could be one thing. Or it could be the mice are taking away from your child's happiness, meaning that the mice take away and eat, and so the child needs to be nurtured, dealt with, maybe going to therapy, family counseling could be a thing, all that if this is a child. Now, if she doesn't have children and this is for herself to move, then it could be about this these nervous tendencies and these thoughts, the thought process that has to be changed is taking away from all the luck that this move could bring. This new beginning could bring you lots of happiness and joy and luck, but it's being, the sentence ends with the mice, meaning that this needs to be dealt with. This nervous anxiety, that kind of feeling needs to be dealt with. It could be an issue of theft too. Maybe someone that you're trying to get away from is stealing from you, stealing your happiness, could be even stealing your money, stealing something. It could be an issue of theft too. But you see where that's going is that this, especially the mindset, I think, is very important here for this move to be successful. Okay, so there you go. There's timing in a nutshell with the cards. And a lot of people ask me, well, how do I know the right cards to pick? Well, I'm like that too. I don't really know. So what I do is I just shuffle until something really pops out or comes up, or like you can tell that that's the card, to be more secure in the feeling that you've picked right. But really, you never pick wrong. It's just all in our heads, just like that reading was. A lot of it is just in our mindset, our heads, right? It's time to get over the head and into, a lot of our own thoughts is what stops us from moving forward. Like that 9 of Wands with the defense, that card too can also mean you're so much in defense mode that you can't see moving past the anxiety and that has to be dealt with before this move would be successful. So I hope that helps. I hope you enjoyed this free video on timing, and watch for new videos, paid videos, that I'll keep cheap. Okay, I'll keep very affordable for you to learn more about spirituality for the modern mystic and using ways to increase our happiness in our lives. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you'd like your own personal reading from me, check me out at www.themoontree.org, helping you navigate life's energies. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.